Alright. It is now November 13th, 2024. It's currently 10:10 p.m. Once this check reception goes away, there it is. 13th of November. A week after the previous video that I recorded, which I haven't gotten up until just tonight because a lot of stuff has happened within the last week. So, yeah. Alright. Right now, it is actually cold. It is 34 outside, and this is one of those few and far waves of cold that we have had this fall. Well, it's kind of like on and off between hot and cold, but right now we're in a cold period, and it's also very dry. So yeah, 30s, it peaked in the mid-40s today, but generally been in the 30s. And for humidity, the dew point is 22 outside right now. That's pretty bad. And it was even lower earlier today, seeing 16 degrees there. It's been in the 20s all day. You can even see there it says the average humidity 52%, dew point 16 to 23 degrees. Very dry. And that's not to say that's gonna last, oops, because it won't. Because as you can see, well, today, cold. Tomorrow, also cold. Friday, starting to warm back up a little bit, but still pretty cold. And then you can see we're gonna have more 60s later on. Not into the 70s anymore, but still a little on the warm side. However, I think we can safely say the infinite summer is finally coming to a close. There's no more 70s expected, just lower 60s at the most. And, yeah. It was pretty crazy that summer had to last that long, though. In any case, a lot has happened in the last week that I'd like to go over here. So, yeah, my phone's currently charging off of my EcoFlow because, you know, the battery's low a while ago. And I want to use my EcoFlow to charge my stuff, so yeah. Just what my computer looks like right now. This humidifier is running. Water level is pretty low. I have to fix that. This humidifier is running. I just filled it up all the way and turned it on a few minutes ago. I should probably not have a cardboard box right next to it. So that's going. And this outputs very warm steam. This is the only warmest humidifier that I have here. Well, truly warmest. The Govee one over there is a cool mist, and the one out in the living room is a hybrid, which I'll explain what that means when I get out there to show that one running as well. So let me actually just go out there and show you. Alright, so out here, here is the hybrid humidifier. Basically what it means is it can do cool and warm mist. It still has the ultrasonic speaker in it, and you can see this is what we're working with for the water supply right now. You can actually see where I filled it to for some reason. But enough about that. It's currently pumping out mist, and this humidifier is very good at eating through a large amount of water in a short time span. It's got a very good output capacity, and right now is currently on the highest setting. And if you can see the little icon there that looks like there's three wavy things at the bottom there, that means that there's a heating element inside turned on, which heats up the mist output. Otherwise it would just be a standard ultrasonic cool mist. But it gets warm mist capabilities when that heating element is turned on. and that somewhat improves the rate at which mist is evaporated into the air, and thus the humidifier becomes that little bit more effective, and it's a great option to use during the winter when it's cold outside, like it is. It's very dry in here, 21% relative humidity, because that is the only humidifier I've got going for the living room and the rest of the apartment. 72 degrees isn't that bad, but, you know, haven't been using this thing. It kind of just, you know, because the passive heating problems I've explained in previous videos, kind of just been keeping the apartment warm on its own without having to actually turn on. And the windows are closed. There's the lamp, just for no reason, and yeah. Alright, now back in here you can see the humidity levels are better. It's also warmer, which not necessarily a good thing, because 70 to 72 is probably the ideal, but it's warmer in here, and that's because, you know, I've been in here and have been testing a new piece of equipment that I had to get, and I will explain that in a bit. But you can see humidity is better in here, and that is because I have 2 humidifiers going in a smaller space. So they're able to add a lot more moisture to the air, relatively speaking, because it's a smaller space to humidify, first of all, and there's multiple units running. Now, I've made some new investments over the past week as well. This is a shortwave radio. I may do a full review of this coming soon. It's got a learning curve behind it, but I think it's a pretty good thing to have in the event of an emergency, or just in general, because you can't go wrong with radio, especially if you don't have internet or whatever. This would be a great reliable way to get information for free, just by tuning into the station that you need to tune into or want to tune into. You see the antenna there. And also a great method of getting information if the internet were to ever go down, because all you have to do is tune to the correct frequency, and if you're in range, you'll get the broadcast. No questions asked. Now, I'll explain why it is warm in here, and what kind of testing I was doing earlier. So, a day after I recorded the previous video, which was November 6th, where I recorded, you know, the fact that it was another 70-degree day, the following day, the 7th of November, my heater made by Govee was recalled. You can see I have some of the parts for it there. I had to cut the power cord, and I decided to dismantle it so I could salvage things like the fan and the LED strip. So I now no longer have that heater, and they are currently processing a refund because of the recall. Apparently they were overheating, or they had the potential to overheat, so there were bird hazards, supposedly. And yeah, you can believe this if you want to or not. I kind of don't really believe it, because there were only 100 reports out of like 500,000 heaters that were sold across North America. So it's kind of ridiculous, but, you know, a recall is a recall, and, you know, I'm getting a refund for it, so I can put that money towards new setups that hopefully won't get recalled over safety hazards or concerns. So that's exactly what I did. Over there, I have a Pro Tier Govee Smart Plug. The reason it's Pro Tier is it has energy monitoring capabilities, so it's the same thing as my watt meter, but a smart Bluetooth Wi-Fi version that's wrapped into a smart plug. And right there, if I cannot trip over my charger, this is an oil radiator heater. So let me go ahead and open up the Govee app so I can show you what we're working with here. So here's the menu for the plug. You can see it's off right now, and it will show you various information, the kilowatt hours you've used through the plug. The statistics are resettable. And you can also see the runtime, and while the thing is on, the wattage, the amperage, and the voltage. So I'll go ahead and power this on. The heater's supposed to be 700 watts, but 650, that's the highest I'm getting whenever I turn it on. But yeah, the heater is now on, plug is now on, so yeah. You can see the indicator light for the heater is now on. It's just a regular on-off switch, and it's got a mechanical thermostat in it. It just has the dial there. So it's just a regular bimetallic thermostat. There's no fancy high-end controls in this one. It's just a basic oil-filled radiator. So yeah, unfortunately no more heaters that come packed with features that I can use for advanced automations with this thing, because Govee recalled pretty much every model. So yeah, they said that they're not going to be continuing to make them either, so I can't get a new release whenever they get around to it, because they won't get around to it. So I had to come up with a different solution for heating automations, and this is what I came up with. A smart plug and a basic mechanical heater. So I could turn the dumb mechanical heater into a smart mechanical heater. And I reused the heating automations that I had for my Govee heater, because when I deregistered the device, the automations remained, because I still had one end, which was the thermohydrometer. So all I had to do was put the smart plug in the place of the old heater, and the smart plug will turn on, supply power to this whenever need be, and it will turn off once the high temperature threshold is met, which will stop supplying power to the heater. Of course, the heater has its own built-in thermostat, and because the front of the heater also gets hot, it's not hot yet because I just turned it on, but as that heats up, it'll heat the thermostat up too, so you're never going to get a constant on state with this thing, but it's close enough. It does provide decent heat output once it really gets going. It takes its time. You don't get instant heat like with the PTC ceramic heater like Govee's before it got recalled. So it is a bit of a waiting game, but it's completely silent as a plus, aside of when the thermostat clicks and some other clicking right here from the oil flowing around, and of course the smart plug when that turns on and off. Other than that, it's completely silent. There's no fan noise, so it's a good setup, and hopefully it can live up to the legacy of my Govee heater. Although, there are features that I'm never going to get back with that other heater. It had the RGB base light, and I don't think there are any other heaters that have that. Not to mention, there weren't any other heaters that came with smart features like Govee's did. It just had the most features out of any of the heaters on the market. Like, you could automate any of the settings, even the fan setting. If you could set it up with auto run with a proper thermohydrometer. You could even automate the base light if you wanted to. And of course, automatic heating just with the heater and a thermohydrometer. Now, that part can be replicated if you get something like this, or another heater that just has the mechanical switches and not digital controls. That way you can just have the mechanical switches on the heater itself on, plug it into a smart plug, and the smart plug will dictate whether the thing is on or off. But there are other features of the Govee heater that I'm not going to get back in any other heater. However, I haven't completely lost control of being able to automate heating for my room. Not that I need it, because it's already very warm in here, and of course the actual building heating is turned on. Not going to use it though, because it's already doing enough without being turned on, because the hot water continues to course through these units regardless of the state of the fan. And of course, the heater being rated at 700 watts, it says that on the page for it, it never actually draws that much. It's still staying in the mid 600s. So I guess that's good that it's energy efficient, but of course that means it isn't very powerful. Like over here would draw 900 watts on the low setting, which is the setting I would always use it on. I didn't deem it necessary to have it on any setting higher than that. And this is very binary. It can only be either on or off. It's on at 700 watts or not on at all. There's only one intensity setting. It's just a 700 watt oil heater. And I think it should be fine for a bedroom, a small bedroom like this. But any room that's larger, I wouldn't suggest this for, because it's not very strong. You can feel the heat. I can start to feel the heat now radiating off the top. If you hover right over it, you can feel the heat output up to like a few feet overhead the heater. So yeah, if you give it time, it will work its magic, but you don't feel warm air circulating throughout the room quite as quick as, you know, with a fan forced heater. Especially with that thing up there, because that's essentially a giant fan forced heater. And this is purely radiant. It works like any other baseboard heater would. It just heats up a large body, you know, a large metal body like that, which may or may not have oil or water coursing through it as the supply of heat. It could be either a fully electric design, or it could be a hydronic design. So you could have something like this where there's oil through it, or oil in it, and that oil is heated up, and the oil is what does the magic of actually making the thing warm. Or there are some baseboard heaters that just use straight up resistive heating, so they just have wires going through the heater, and those will heat up a lot faster, for sure, but I think these have more heating capacity because they heat up a larger surface area and will radiate that heat out through fins like this. So yeah, if you give it some time, the heat output is decent. I can feel it on the side here too. I don't really have a way of proving that it's working other than to look up here and see the temperature kind of increase, because it's kind of close to the thermohydrometer, which probably isn't a smart idea, but I'm working with the space that I'm given here. But yeah, that's the whole heater story, and that is one of the reasons that I had to wait a week to upload the previous video. So I had to deal with that recall, and I had to search for a new solution, because in the event that the heat here stops working or is turned off and it gets cold, or I need supplemental heating, I need something rather than nothing, you know. And it's not the best, but you know, it'll do. As for other things, I had a lot of work to do the past week. Most of it I finally have gotten done today, so I now have the time to make videos again. But yeah, figured I would let you know. That's another one of the main reasons why it took me a week to get the previous video out. Let's see if I can get a shot of both humidifiers misting at the same time. I can feel the heat leaning over here. Okay, you can see the mist from this humidifier, but not the one back there, because the camera is auto exposuring. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So that is where we're at. And this has probably been, I think, the coldest day so far of the entire 2024 fall. Mid 40s during the day and lower 30s at night. I think I might go outside and show you what it looks like outside. Cold night, but forget that. Never mind. I don't think it's going to be that interesting outside. I mean, it's not like there's snow on the ground or anything. Or frost even. I mean, there might be a little bit of frost, but the interesting part is inside and how I'm keeping my living space warm. And humid, because it's also very dry outside. And there you go, there's your proof. Now it's warmed up to 75. So, yeah. This heater is pretty good. And that's what I'm going to have to work with now, because I no longer have the Govee heater. Well, I still have the parts, it's just I don't have a completely assembled Govee heater anymore, since it's gotten recalled. It's a tragedy. I think that just clicked off. The thermostat inside the heater, of course. But yeah, it's a tragedy that I can't use my good heater anymore. I really wish that had turned out differently, but, you know, things happen and you can't really do anything about them. So, if one solution ends up being, you know, obsolete or something happens to it, you gotta find another solution. That's just how it works. I don't think I have really much anything else to say. This video has kind of been just an update on things and, you know, a look at what an actually cold fall day / winter day looks like, since those have been somewhat of a rarity this year. So, yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and I'm still working on the winter storm hypo. Hopefully I'll have that done by the end of the month. But of course that's gonna take a lot of time. It's got a lot going into it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.